Let us now move on to the second phase of photosynthesis. We have discussed in detail the photochemical phase. Now it's the turn of the second phase, that is biosynthetic phase. For your relief, now that you're well aware of the photochemical phase, this biosynthetic phase is going to be a bit shorter than the previous one, and one thing, though it is shorter in length in terms of lessons that we have studied in the photochemical phase, because it was introductory, so it got a little bit lengthened. This biosynthetic phase is shorter if it is understood in 3 different points, but because we have to pay attention to the graphical representation as well, so keep your mind sharp enough to catch all the intricacies that we are going to discuss in this topic. But the first lesson this is that we are going to consider it in an overview. So, when I talk about biosynthetic phase, first thing that you have to keep in mind is that this phase is going to deal with the assimilation of CO2. You remember, now it's quite a long time when we had talked about that photosynthesis had the raw materials. Now the raw material had CO2 as the prime raw material, I would say. It is the CO2 which ultimately would get reduced and form the carbohydrate glucose. That was the outcome. Now the biosynthetic phase is the phase of photosynthesis that deals with the assimilation of CO2 to carbohydrates. So finally, now we are going to come to the actual equation that we were talking about. That simple part, sunlight and chlorophyll part, had so many detailed aspects to it. Now we come to the actual part, that how carbon dioxide is going to get fixed, or rather its assimilation is going to take place, and it is going to get converted to glucose, which is a carbohydrate. So the biosynthetic phase deals with this aspect of photosynthesis, which is represented in its very equation. Second thing is that what would be the site of this biosynthetic phase? The site would be chloroplast, of course. That's why we studied chloroplast in so much detail. But inside the chloroplast, instead of thylakoids, now the site of action, main action, would be stroma. Okay, the matrix as we call it, it would be the stroma where this assimilation of CO2 would take place. Alright, other thing that we have to keep in mind is that this biosynthetic phase is otherwise known as dark reaction. Now this, I assume, is not the first time that you are listening to this dark reaction concept. It is a dark reaction. Other name for this is black man's reaction. You can remember it from black, that this is the dark reaction, this is black man's reaction. Okay, now 2 or 3 points till now. First thing that I want to tell you is that this reaction does not take place in dark. First thing that you have to keep in mind, though in certain books there is a simple statement that this reaction does not require light, but it is light dependent. It is independent of direct dependence on light, but it is light dependent. For the assimilatory power in the form of ATP and NADPH, you remember, it was being formed in the light reaction or the Hill's reaction, and this would be utilized in this particular biosynthetic phase. So though it does not need the direct energy of the photons, but it is dependent on the outcome of light reaction. Now this is one thing. Second thing that you have to keep in, this is the first introduction about biosynthetic phase, that what it is going to deal with, it is going to deal with the formation of carbohydrates, that is glucose. This thing is going to be formed now. Now we are going to see it, how it is formed, and you will see till now we were talking about photosynthesis, but nowhere there was glucose. Now this part of photosynthesis is going to be giving rise to this glucose, but it won't be photosynthesis. This is that part of photosynthesis which is not directly linked with light. Indirectly it is dependent on light. How? It needs the assimilatory part. That is why it is known as dark reaction. Another name for dark reaction is black man's reaction, and the site of this reaction is stroma inside the chloroplast. Now when we study biosynthetic phase of photosynthesis, there are different pathways that could be possible when the synthesis of glucose has to take place. First one is C3 cycle. We study them individually in detail, but for now you need to get introduced to the terms. Second one is C4 cycle, and the third one, which is quite similar to C3 and C4 cycle only, but a little bit of difference is there, that is this. These three cycles are biosynthetic phases, different phases, where we have a little difference in the formation of different compounds that would be formed. And one thing you have to keep in mind, that till now we were not talking much about enzymes. We were dealing with the electrons basically. Now we are going to deal with enzymes which are exclusively located in stroma of chloroplast. That is why we have this reaction taking place in stroma. This C3 cycle is otherwise known as Calvin-Benson cycle. Other name for it is pentose reductive pathway, reduction pathway. The name of this is, these two scientists were responsible for tracking the path of carbon, how it gets fixed, what is the actual cycle which is responsible for the fixation of carbon dioxide in the form of glucose. Then there is a C4 cycle, that is known as dicarboxylic acid cycle. C4 dicarboxylic acid cycle, you have to remember this name as well. Now over here, the main pathway would be C3 only. This thing also you have to remember, that whenever there would be fixation of glucose inside a plant, the main pathway that the plant would be following would be C3 only, with a little difference of the first compound which is being formed. We have these two variants. These are the variants of C3 cycle, though the actual fixation would be by C3 cycle only. A little bit of difference in the first compound, that would be C4 dicarboxylic acid cycle, that is known as C4 cycle, and another variant to C4 is CAM cycle, which is seen in the succulents, the plants which grow in desert areas who have to deal with the water retention. So this is the second thing you have to know, that in the biosynthetic phase there are three possible pathways that different plants show. It has nothing to do with the taxonomic arrangement though, but these are the variants of C3 cycle or the biosynthetic phase. And lastly, as I told you, that ultimately it is the C3 cycle or the Kelvin-Benson cycle that is taking place. Whether C4 we are talking about, whether CAM we are talking about, we are dealing with C3 cycle only. So in this very lesson itself, let us get introduced that what would be the steps in the C3 cycle, what would happen in the biosynthetic phase. So the first step of biosynthetic phase is that some compound is going to take up the carbon dioxide. In the presence of enzymes, some compound within the stroma would come and take up the carbon dioxide, and that step would be carboxylation. Okay, some compound comes, it takes up the carbon dioxide and it fixes the carbon dioxide within it. That step would be carboxylation. Now, which compound comes and takes up this carbon dioxide and undergoes carboxylation? You have to remember it is RUBP. Please remember this name. While we study it in detail, we'll get accustomed to what it is basically. It is ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. If you don't remember it, doesn't matter, just remember RUBP. Why I'm telling you this? RUBP is the compound that takes up carbon dioxide, because when I tell you the third step, you should not be confused that what actually RUBP is. Now, the second step involves glycolytic reversal. Now, why I'm using glycolytic reversal and why I haven't used the simpler term for this, that is reduction, using the assimilatory power. Why I have used this? Because you are now well aware from your knowledge of class 11 that what is glycolysis. So there are few steps where the glycolytic reversal takes place and the formation of glucose is seen. Then glucose is formed, we have got our outcome that we were talking about. Lastly, the one which took up the carbon dioxide, that has to be regenerated, so that when more carbon dioxide comes up, there is an acceptor for that carbon dioxide to undergo carboxylation. And the last step is regeneration of RUBP. Now, as I have written in the beginning that this is a cyclic process, there is a cycle which takes place. So, that cycle has to be formed, and that cycle would be formed when the carboxylation which was taking place in the acceptance process of RUBP, where it takes up the carbon dioxide, there are certain processes, there is a cascade of proteins that comes, and there are certain reactions which are taking place in the presence of enzymes, which lead to a reaction that is responsible for reduction of the compounds, so that the assimilatory powers can give their hydrogen as well to the carbon dioxide that got fixed. Now there is glycolytic reversal, that means reverse of glycolysis would take place. As you know, in the glycolysis, glucose breaks down to certain compounds. Over here, certain compounds would come together and form glucose. So that is the outcome that we were looking for in the biosynthetic phase. We got it in the second step. When this glucose has been formed, then a few steps take place which enable the regeneration of RUBP, so that further carboxylation, the next series of steps, could take place. So this is all about the biosynthetic phase. This is just an overview. Brace yourself for further understanding, where we have full lessons dedicated to the C3 cycle steps. Individually, we are going to see what happens at the enzymatic and compound levels.